wanted to show you a really quick and short tutorial on how to do or create pattern brushes in Illustrator using really simple shapes and fun colors like this. So let's just get started. As you can see, I have created these shapes already just to speed up the process, but just really quickly I can duplicate them to show you how that can be achieved. What I like to do when I start patterns, especially when I do custom patterns for projects that I'm working on, I like to create a color palette just so I can easily pick and choose when I'm creating the patterns and see what blends and what doesn't, and play around. This way it eliminates so much time, especially if you sit there, if you're sitting there and you're selecting colors and you don't like how they go, so on and so forth. So this really saves you some time. So yeah, pick your colors and then we can get started on creating the shapes. Super easy. I just use all the shapes that are available on Illustrator, and to create the squiggly effect I have what I'm just going to show you how I did it. So I just created a rectangle, and then I went into effects and I went scribble, and this popped up, and I was okay with how that looked. But you can obviously play with the kind of scribble, the extent of the crazy up and down, and the thickness as well. So really and truly, it really depends on what you're looking for. So let's just go with that, just for something different. And then I go to Object and Expand Appearance, and it has now made it a stroke, but I would like to make it a shape, so I expand it even more. And now it's a shape. Bringing these back in here, these are obviously pretty self-explanatory, I'm sure. So once again, these were done by rectangles. I showed you how to do the squiggly. This is pretty much a square that you just rotate to 90 degrees, and that's how you get it, a circle and a square again. So really simple and basic shapes that can give you some pretty stunning outcomes with this brush tool here. So let me just delete this and start again. And I'm going to delete these brushes here as well, just so I don't get confused. And so the first thing I'll do is I'll create this. So I'll just making sure that I have all of them selected, and also making sure that I have my brushes window open. I'm just going to click and drag it in. And this should give you a pop-up box that looks like this. And you have options like scatter, art, and pattern, and you pick pattern obviously, and you click OK. Once you click OK, it gives you a box that looks like this. You just name your pattern, whatever you want. I'm just going to leave it at that. And the other thing you need to look at is the spacing. Do you want there to be spacing or no spacing at all? Let's just go with no spacing for now, and I can show you how we can tweak that. So click OK, and it creates that for you. Now I'm going to select my ellipse tool and then click and drag and create a circle. And making sure that my stroke is selected, I'm going to go to my brushes window and select the brush that I created, and voila, that's what I get. Isn't that really cute, or really bright and pretty? And yeah, and was so simple to create. Now I can adjust the sizing, but first let me show you how to adjust the spacing in case you want there to be a little more space between the diamonds. So you just double click on your brush and just let's add in 50% space, and click OK, and then make sure you hit apply to strokes if you had it selected when you made this change, and this gives you that spacing in between. Now I think this is a little too big, so I'm going to make the size a little bit smaller by just going to my stroke and making it 0.5%, and I like that, so I'm going to stick with that. Next, we'll try and do the others. So I'm just going to select this and drop it back in there. Make sure I click on pattern, click OK. I will give it, I'll give it 100% spacing. Click OK. I like to duplicate my circles so that there's no issue with centering. So Control C for copy, Control F for paste on top. Right click, transform, scale, which gives you a box like this. And I'm just going to make sure that I scale it down to, no, scale it up. I'll scale it up to 120 maybe. No, that's not big enough. I need to go bigger. Perhaps something like 130. Click OK. Although that's really pretty too. But we're going to add this new design and see what that looks like. Now, because this pattern is so long, clearly it's interfering with the other one, so I need to make the circle a little bit bigger. So back again, we go to scale, and that's way too much. So perhaps 105. Yep, that does it. So now I have this additional layer of design and pattern that make this even more intricately detailed. So let's create another simpler circle. So Control C for copy, Control F for paste on top, right click, and now I'm going to shrink down the size. So I'll shrink it down to like say 75%. Actually make it 85% because I'm going to just give this a plain, a plain stroke, just like that. And I'll just make it, let's make it this nice bright color. Yeah, 90s and 80s are coming back in, so maybe this is why I'm gravitating to colors like this. So in right now. Just going to scale it a little bit more. Okay, and then let's try and do this one finally. And because I feel like we have a lot of pink going on already, maybe let's just do the blue. And so selecting all of it, I'm just going to make sure that they're centered. There we go. Drop it in there, select pattern, click OK. I'm going to put in 120 spacing. Wait, is that even a thing? Yeah, it is. Sorry guys, just wanted to make sure that I'm not saying anything wrong. And now I'm going to scale it down even more. So let's scale it down to 75 just because of how the pattern is. And there we go. That's what we have. And I actually don't mind how that looks, but yeah, you can essentially just play around with, I don't know what happened here, but yeah, you get the idea of how this works. You just play around with the colors, play around with a bunch of shapes, and you'll get some really cool, interesting outcomes through the pattern brush option in Illustrator. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please feel free to send me a note or make a comment and let me know if there's something you'd like to see in terms of tutorials on Illustrator. I'd love to experiment and show you guys some new stuff. Thanks guys. Bye.